We're back.
Yeah, we're back. How we doing, gentlemen?
Yeah,
Better than it
I'm
was
doing.
last week.
Better than last
Yeah.
week. Yeah, we gotta take some shots at Caleb over his picks to click and stuff. But
So
2-0 on the season. Big win over the Wolfpack.
what were our score predictions? You got them?
No, we didn't write those down. No.
Oh
we,
no, I didn't write them down.
we
I think
forgot.
I said 44-23.
Who?
Oh,
Nobody said.
wins. Yeah.
Kyle, you had 48-23. Chris 44-17. Caleb 45-35, and I had 59-17.
Good job,
I think you
everyone.
win.
We all picked us to win, so we all got it right equally.
Yeah.
We all had the right vibes on it.
Hey,
Didn't we?
let's start here though. I want to start here. Off the not on our last week's podcast, but on a phone call outside of this podcast, Chris informed
God.
me before the NC State game that if NC State scored 3 touchdowns, that he'd be done with the Tennessee season. So Chris,
Dramatic.
are you okay? Are you
Chris is still in, so that's good.
I'm smiling, aren't I? It's a dramatic overstatement, Kyle. Thank you very much. No, my vibes were that they sucked, and if we're going to be the team that I think that we can be, then we needed to do pretty much exactly what we did to them.
Yeah.
And I got an allergy to football now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
All right, whatever. I'm not gonna argue with you on this one, Chris. So
What's there to argue? We kicked her ass,
we did exactly.
just like we should have.
Here's what
During the game, though, I was a little disappointed that we didn't have style points, I guess.
All right, let's
Yeah.
just
Yeah, that's what I was about
the
to
elephant in the room here. Nico kind of sucked.
Yeah, but then Matt Dixon said that it's because that's what NC State does. They take away your receivers, and we knew that, and we adjusted to it, and we played an uglier style of football and beat the hell out of them. So that made me feel like, oh my gosh.
It did feel good, but beating them in that way without, we had maybe, 2 or 3 plays I might classify as like maybe cool.
Cool.
With 3 shovel passes?
Those are neat, but the coolest play was the pass to Kitzelman that got called back.
That
Yeah.
BS
Yes.
call. Terrible call.
Yeah,
Official.
Well,
Yeah,
the coolest, I guess Nico's long touchdown run was the coolest play that counted.
and it was just so wide open. It wasn't that like cool. It just happened. But
Yeah,
I think for me, one thing that keep going, I think Nico, in hindsight, is going to be good because he didn't play his best game, obviously. But I came out of the game actually happy that Josh Heupel showed me that in the future that he's not so stuck to his system. That in coaches past and eras past that there'd be coaches that were just like, hey, this is my system. I run the system. No matter what the defense is showing me, I'm going to shove my system down their throat, whether it's successful or not. But he saw that, I've had problems with this defense before with my system. So I'm going to line up in 12 personnel with 2 tight ends. And
12 personnel.
and we're just going to run the ball and pass to the tight ends. And, hey, wide receivers, take the night off. That made me happy about Josh Heupel just being flexible to his personnel and the situational football.
Well,
That is an incredible point. Thank you.
it's a good point.
Yeah.
It is the first time Josh Heupel has had more than one good tight end.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know that he's been able to do this before.
Yeah, I agree with you, Caleb. While I was watching, I was like, come on, do more fun stuff. But then as I went back and watched and rationality started percolating back into my brain, I realized that our scheme for them was so good. They schemed us up pretty well defensively, and you see what that got them. I mean, they were designing to take away the mid-range and long ball throws. So that was effectively gone, but it was a pick your poison because if you do that with what we have with Dylan Sampson in our line and Nico as a rushing threat, we're going to run the ball for 250 yards on you. We're going to get third down conversions at will. Yes, our 7-2 long range ball is going to be inconsistent at best, but it was just so cool to see how we were adaptable. Kyle, you're absolutely right. Coolest play besides the Kitzel, the non-touchdown Kitzelman throw was the Kitzelman touchdown, where he does the little fake rub against the linebacker and then acts like he's going to block for a second and then just sprints to the line. Like, that's Josh Heupel scheming to get our receivers open.
My favorite part of that play was Heupel's immediate reaction. Like, gosh, why would you not want to play for that guy? Like, that's me on NCAA 25, you know, like, gosh, man, that felt good.
Yeah.
Oh, man, when Kyle was saying that, I was just imagining what a Butch or a Pruitt game like that would have been like. Like, oh, my God. Butch would have ran the ball 40 times for 70 yards in that situation.
I kept on thinking about Butch's quote, like when he first addressed his team, when he first got the job, where he's like, we run an infallible system, and if you just stick to the system, we will be successful because this is an infallible system, you know. And like Heupel was like, well, they're dropping 8 people and rushing 3. I'm gonna run the ball.
Yeah.
You know, and one thing I did notice, like, is like, yeah, Nico threw that interception. I don't count the second interception, the pick six, kind of on him because it was just a football play where our offensive line missed a block. But I think that when Nico made that first throw, you could see on some series before that where he had plenty of time to throw. He just didn't see anybody open, and he was just holding the ball. So I think he just had like a frustration throw where he's like, I'm going to just try to fit one in here, and he just missed the throw. So
Kyle was just bringing it tonight. What in the world?
No, I just think that like I just think that he just made one frustrating throw where he's like, there's no one open, but I'm going to force this one. So
yeah,
I don't know.
He almost did. I still think Brew could have at least tried to one-hand that ball.
It was still a bad
throw. It was up there, bro.
It was a bad throw, but I could have made an amazing catch, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, we've not touched on it yet, I don't think, but the defense performance, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Let me check. I think, yeah, one of us had a defensive player for our pick to click.
Who was it?
It was me and Bryson Eason. So,
he was everywhere.
Pretty sure he tied for the team lead in tackles with 4.
Well, yeah, didn't like 50 people have tackles?
I think we had 13 people with tackles for a loss or something like that.
Yeah.
Beautiful distribution.
He made an incredible play. But yeah, I mean, the defensive line, like, oh my goodness. And this is without Pierce really playing like up to his potential, I think. Like,
I feel like they're just game planning for Pierce.
Yeah, let's talk. That's one thing. Like someone mentioned to me the other day, was like, "Oh, I thought that Pierce guy was supposed to be great," and I'm like, "Well, the entire offensive line is blocking him, which is opening up for the rest of our guys." So it's like, yeah, Pierce isn't getting clear shots on the quarterback, but he's opening up holes for everybody else.
Yeah, and I mean, how many sacks did we have? Anybody got the box score up? I mean,
we had.
Didn't feel like a ton.
3 sacks.
More than I thought.
I mean, I noticed Pierce in the backfield. He was in the. It's just they were.
He over pursued on one that would have been just easy sack, but I think that's a good point that they're scheming against him. But at what point are they going to be like, okay, we can't do that anymore? Like, I mean, our next opponent, that doesn't matter. But
at some point, we're probably going to scheme for him a little more intentionally, I would imagine.
Well, I'm talking about opposing teams.
Yeah, I know, but
but
I'd say in the big games we'll have something that.
Like if we heard the term cheetah package this year, I don't think we've heard it.
I don't think it's been necessary.
I mean, every it doesn't matter who's out there. It's always the cheetah package. Like, these guys are insane.
Can we give a shout out to Big Will Brooks?
Oh man,
Yeah.
wow.
Good old Rocky Pod has always been Team Will Brooks. So.
Yeah. And
we are
was it Holly Rowe or whatever that put Heupel on the hot seat on the halftime? Was that pick six good enough for scholarship? And
She's terrible.
Like, what the heck?
can't say that, Matt.
I'm sorry, but can we just get rid of sideline reporters?
No. We got to have Big Cole Kubelik on the sideline.
That's fine, but just get rid of these. I'm not gonna say anymore, so I don't get in trouble. But come on, like, oh no, you just played a half of football, but let's try to make a story out of this and tell me about this story before you go to no. So how'd you think your team played? Good. Okay, bye.
We're gonna
That's all
have
it
to
needs
clip
to be.
this out. We'll clip that out.
Why? Because you didn't say it. If you said it, I'd be giving you kudos. Secondary, man, like.
I still don't know if our safeties are any good, but our corners do look pretty good.
Yeah.
That tackle McCoy made on
He's great.
Angelina Jolie over there.
As a group, like they wrapped up. There were basically no over pursuits when they went in the event that NC State got into the open, when they completed passes and weren't fumbling everywhere. Their pursuit angles were great. They wrapped up. They were physical. Like NC State looked like a high school team against us on offense. They looked totally inept. I don't know if that's because they suck or we forced them into sucking.
One of my favorite plays was that trick play they ran with Concepcion, where probably should have been an easy touchdown. And Kyle's man, Boo Carter, just right there, step by step. Like, wasn't in position to break it up, but I mean, just brought him down like immediately. Like, incredible play.
We were sitting there watching it form up and go, oh no. And it was just gadget stuff. They were completely out of bullets. They were throwing anything they could against the wall and nothing was working.
I mean, 143 total yards in 28 minutes of possession.
Yeah.
That's another thing. They lost the time of possession to us.
So I don't know if we're past talking about the X and O's of this game, but I think for me, obviously the defense was the star of the show, and I think we've said it in all the podcasts and YouTube, whatever, has said like, oh, it's kind of scary that Tennessee's offense has played like a C+ game or whatever, but we still won 51-10. And that's just scary because we have a national championship caliber defensive line and blah, blah, blah. And if Nico and the offense can play an A+ level game, like Tennessee's has a national championship opportunity. I don't know if I believe that or not yet, but here's the conversation I would like to have with you guys is, can we say how good we are, or is there something in the back of our head was, well, it's just Chattanooga, or is NC State good, or if they're bad, like, are we good, or is it just the other teams we played so far just really, really bad?
I don't know how good the teams we played are, but I do think we're good regardless.
But how
I think
I think for all the national guys to just like gloat over us the next couple days after the game, like, definitely they know better than what we do at what we're looking at. But
no, they don't, Matt.
They don't? Okay, never mind.
This is
Kyle, make that point.
We all have eyes, and my eyes don't lie.
Well, I mean, just everybody's probably mostly played terrible teams so far. There have been a handful of like marquee matchups, and we've looked just as good as anybody, pretty much. So,
better, way better
than
but
everyone.
It is. Yeah, I mean,
I think Miami and Texas looked maybe a hair better than us.
There are 2 or 3 teams that I think would beat us right now. Ohio State, Georgia, and Texas. and that's just they have a slightly more elevated talent level. But on the field results, we're as good or better than just about everyone. I mean, the teams that I'm looking up now at are like Georgia did look really good against Clemson. We knew that they would. Ohio State had been kind of humming along at half power against these nobodies, and Texas kind of did the same.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, there's no reason we should be ranked behind Alabama right now.
Nor Missouri.
Oh, yeah, I forgot we're ranked behind Missouri. Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah, sidebar. It's crazy. We're 7th in the nation and 6th in our conference.
That is incredible.
What?
49-yard touchdown run by James Cook. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else about the game? I mean,
are we just at a loss for words about how good we are?
All right.
But I
guess
think you. Wait.
Well, maybe just talk about this a little bit. It's like, of course, coming out of this game, I've heard it from multiple people. Just want to get you guys' thoughts on it. Do you really think this is a national championship caliber defensive line?
absolutely.
Defensive line, yeah, for sure. Like, it's got, I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched any. Maybe Georgia has equal talent, but I can't imagine there's anyone.
I don't think there's any team deeper.
Yeah.
Maybe Georgia, but I mean,
The
nobody else.
The wing or the platoons that were able to rotate in and out and in and out and in and out and not lose any level of efficiency or effort. Like, that's kind of been the secret key to what we would need to do or defensively to match and complement what we do offensively to maximize our ability. Now that we're able to do it because we have the bodies and the talent to do it, the results are typical. I could not be more excited about it.
The only group on the field that I think is not national championship level is the secondary, and that they're probably still good enough, hopefully, but they don't have like the guy like some of those guys like Georgia and Ohio State have, who are just crazy athletic. We just don't have that, but
yes,
we may not need it.
That's
I
the
think
thing.
the defensive line is good enough to where it helps the secondary. Like, I mean, yeah.
I don't think we're going to be going against like the elite of our schedule and disrupting their line play on every down where the quarterback has 2 seconds to throw the ball like we've had the first 2 games. But I think looking at the schedule and what it's shaping up to be, I don't know that it's going to matter in terms of creating the win-loss record that we're looking for. I don't see a whole lot of teams that have the offensive line that can generally and fully match up to what we're bringing.
I'll say what. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say we will be favored in every game except Georgia.
I don't think that's too much of a limb.
Yeah.
I mean, we are
Really?
We were an underdog to Alabama before the season. We probably still are if it were happening today, but by the time we get there, I think it'll be at least a pick 'em.
So you think isn't Oklahoma favored right now?
No longer.
We were
I love.
We were a 3-point favorite or something like that right now.
I mean, who are we using here?
I think FanDuel's the only one that has a look-ahead line on the Oklahoma game right now, but they had it at like 1.5 us yesterday, and it got bet up to 3.
Well, ESPN Bet has OU -3.5.
Let me check that, Matt.
I mean, I'm just
That
looking
like
from the Week 4 schedule.
Oh yeah, I think
I don't know if
ESPN
they've
has it
updated it.
on their site, but their actual app doesn't have.
You have that app downloaded?
Yeah, man.
Degenerate.
How much
All
of a
right.
swing has been since the preseason? Was Oklahoma favored by 3.5, 4, something like
No,
that?
they were
Or
favored by like 5 when it first got posted, and I think by the time the season started, it got bet down to Oklahoma by like 3 or so. But they were favored before the season.
Yeah. So
All right.
are we going to dive into Oklahoma, or you want to save that for next week?
Kyle, we got to talk about Kent State.
I'm not talking about Kent State. I'm just saying, should we talk about other football stuff?
I mean, we got to have something to talk about next week, but
Yeah.
You just want to do like picks to click, final score, something.
No, I want to talk about like other football stuff.
Oh yeah, but we'll save the picks to click for the end.
Yeah.
Score, I guess.
Okay.
Other football
Notre Dame
sucks.
are we talking about last week or the upcoming week, Kyle? Last week.
Yeah. Yeah, like Notre Dame losing to NIU.
That was funny.
Yeah, I think that's better. That was enjoyable.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I mean, if I'm a Notre Dame fan and my coach has our kicker line up for a 65-yard field goal to save me,
I think it was 62.
62, whatever.
Hey, it looked like it was going down the middle until it got blocked.
Yeah. No, Notre Dame's got problems. Deep in the bones kind of problems.
Is this the first year that offensive coordinator went back from LSU?
That is a deep cut, Matt. I have no idea what you're
I
talking
think
about.
it is.
We'll have to ask friend of the pod, Dom.
Okay.
Please do.
You gonna call him?
No.
Yeah, hold, please.
Who's our sponsor for the hotline?
Looks
I
like
don't know. I think you're in charge of that, aren't you?
All right.
What's that club you went to today?
Oh, Soho House. What's up, everybody?
Soho House. Yeah.
The Soho House hotline.
There we go. Exclusive.
Preserved by Pilot.
What did you make of Golish's boys?
I
And
felt
what do
so
you
bad
make
for
of
them.
I know.
Yeah, I did. I felt bad for his players because Golish had an all-time stupid coaching decision to kick a field goal down 8.
I just like took the spirit out of them, and it really did seem like as soon as that happened, we go back to the quad box and we're watching the other games, and we turn and look, and it's Alabama has scored 3 more touchdowns and they're driving for a 4th.
Yeah.
Their offensive line looked so bad. South Florida was getting pressure from every angle.
What else fun happened this week, Kyle? I don't even remember.
Did you guys not watch any football?
I did. I just can't remember it.
All right. Was Arkansas, Oklahoma State?
Oh, yeah.
Hilarious.
Did y'all watch that game? I came out less scared about Arkansas.
I don't know about that. I mean,
because I had just so you know,
well.
for context, I have that game as kind of like a potential trap game for us before the season. But then, like after watching them, I'm like, and watching us, I'm like, nah, I'm not scared.
They were like a Looney Tunes cartoon, and real fast and able, and then they find themselves holding the bomb in their hand and it blows up in their face. And it happened over and over and over again. Yeah, they'd get a 30-yard gash run, and then their quarterback would miss an open receiver in the corner for a touchdown and then fumble. Or
Oklahoma State is always like that, though. They're like that year we were playing Georgia and we're down like 24-0 and come back. Like that's every game they play seems like it's like that. Like, oh, they're down 3 scores. Okay, now magically they're winning. Like, it's weird.
There's a reason that Pistol Pete, their mascot, looks like he's seen hell in his eyes. He looks so somber and sad because Oklahoma State, 100% right. That is what they do. but Arkansas somehow out Oklahoma Stated Oklahoma State. I don't know how you get 300 yards more offense and lose. No thoughts on that. Nothing. It
Nope.
wasn't interesting to you.
It was interesting. I enjoyed watching the game. No thoughts.
Just no thoughts. Okay. It was the
You
drunkest.
should have asked me on Sunday when my mind was still clear.
Oh, okay. Well, silliest game of the year by far. May end up being the silliest game in the full season. We'll see. Things will get forgotten in time, but that was nail the nail in Sam Pittman's coffin. God bless him. It was here to begin the season, and they tapped, and it's halfway down now.
Yeah, they had it halfway pulled out before.
Oh yeah, no. Bobby Petrino, of course, everybody in Fayetteville and all of the natural state wanted Sam gone and Bobby back in.
Yeah, you think that would happen? I give it a
Never.
strong chance.
Yeah, he'll be the interim for sure.
Yeah.
Well, how often does a head coach get fired and the guy that was calling the plays on offense get elevated? I know of only one time.
Are you going to tell us?
It's Philip Fulmer.
Michigan recently.
I mean, he left. He wasn't fired.
Yeah.
When you're fired, the staff vamos.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But Bobby,
this would be the first time that a former head coach would then become the interim head coach at the same school.
You have to call Jeannie about that one, Matt.
Oh, yeah. Tennis talk.
I wanted to know your thoughts on this to rope it back into kind of like how it affects Tennessee. Is like I have not seen one play from scrimmage from either Ole Miss or Missouri. Is Ole Miss and Missouri kind of as good as their hype or not?
I have no idea.
Ole Miss has had 2 scrimmages.
Yeah.
And their schedule is so easy. I think they have Georgia in a couple weeks, but other than that, they play nobody.
I suspect Ole Miss is a little better than Missouri, but
yeah, Missouri, Boston College. I'm excited for that one this weekend.
We'll get to that. Ole Miss is making plays, even as we talked about with Chattanooga, that would be difficult with routes on air. They're very, very good offensively. I don't know a thing about what they're doing defensively, but offensively, man, they cook.
It was after week 1 where I think it was SEC Network tweeted Nico's like halftime stats where he's like, oh, he's got all these yards and 3 touchdowns, and in the comments there's just almost like Jackson Dart had 5 touchdowns in the first half, and you're playing nobody cares. Like, I feel like Lane's whole season so far is just trying to pad numbers and get Heisman contender status for his guys. Like, it's I think I'm selling Ole Miss. No.
Yeah, I heard something like, didn't he break T. Martin's record for most completions in a row?
Apparently, it was a little cheaty way of doing it, but
a little dink and dunk underneath passes.
They run those like sweeps where they
the reverse passes.
Yeah.
A 4.
Wasn't there an asterisk on T's record because we were playing a literally winless Brad Scott South Carolina team in '98?
Still SEC.
Still SEC, I guess.
Man.
No. Ole Miss is I would sell Ole Miss too if they played anyone real, but at the end of the year they're going to have a 10-2 or better record.
Yeah, but
so they're going to be someone that if we do what we think we can do, we're going to be.
If we had their schedule, we wouldn't even be doing this podcast this year. Like, there'd just be no use in it. We can't talk about those teams,
We don't know how to talk about being good.
That's what I was about to bring up.
Yeah, we still still more or less still have at least half a cup on. We are waiting for the other shoe to drop somewhere.
Yeah.
We're seeing ghosts, and I know I am, but I'm trying to push through it because we are good, and yet lingering 15 years of catastrophe is still hanging around somewhere there.
Do you think that's? I mean, why do you think that is? Like, are you more like okay, when's the letdown going to be? Or, I guess, do you think it's because we will have a letdown, or you're scared of a letdown? I think I'm more scared of a letdown than like, okay,
Guys,
when's it
even
going
if
to
we
be?
have a letdown, it's okay.
It's okay.
Caleb,
45, 35,
I think it's because
and
some
16.
people in the chat and in the podcast might actually think that jinxes are for real.
Yes.
And I would like to. I was about to say that we need to have a segment like just like be bold and like
Okay.
act like jinxes aren't a thing because newsflash they're not.
Oh.
And say like, hey, like
Mhm.
let's remember that we are like good and like oh yeah we're good but we only no like I think we're gonna go to Oklahoma and win. I think we're probably gonna beat Alabama. I think that there's a good chance that we'll be 11-1, maybe 10-2, and we're gonna be hosting a home playoff game.
All right. So I don't
Damn.
have to apologize to Arkansas Tech, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and
No,
I don't even
go
like,
ahead and jinx
like,
them.
but what about our loss to Florida? We ain't losing to Florida this year. Like, we're not. That Florida game is going to be like 17 points us victory for us. Like, bring on the 5-star.
Kyle, have you considered the backup quarterback?
Yeah, bring on the 5-star backup.
Who is
Whatever.
it? Treon Harris?
See, I said that. I said that just for Caleb and Chris's reactions.
Like no consideration at all for my personal health. I'm hearing these things and going,
Florida
I'm thinking
doesn't have a
that we-
chance against us this year.
that I say, hey, I don't think South Carolina is going to score another point. It was 3 minutes later that somehow their offense came to life, and bam, and then Matt goes, oh yeah, no, it was something about Central Arkansas. No way Butch comes back from this. Well, they technically apparently didn't, but the record doesn't reflect that. I was smelling turnovers in the air last weekend. Caleb could verify.
Yes, you
We
heard.
Yes, I could sense that an energy shift needed, and I said, we got to switch chairs, Caleb. What? And then, bam, pick six.
Jesus.
When
Jesus.
there is in this football world, there's something beyond your books, Kyle.
No.
Feel it.
No, I'm not worried about Florida. I'm not worried about that Florida history. I'm not worried about anything.
Like Kyle, you know Josh Heupel is though, so I mean
He's thinking about it.
You know, my favorite thing from his press conference this week was that guy that asked how it felt to win when your air raid offense doesn't work or whatever.
All right. To be fair, that was Ben McKee, and Ben McKee said there are some people who say that you run this. So
That's some weasel
But
words.
we've had 3
Many
years.
people.
What is this, year 3 or 4? This is 4, right? Yeah, 4. For 4 years we've been here, but it's not really an air raid. He likes to run the ball. Like, yeah, we
that
all
is one
know.
of my favorite things that we get to repeat all the time is it's not really an air raid.
Yeah. I think the new, John Kelly likes to skateboard is Josh Heupel likes to run the ball. You know, like
Yeah.
What a deep
you know,
dive there.
Josh Dobb is an aerospace engineer. Did you know John
What?
Kelly
Like the
skateboard?
clarinet.
Josh Heupel likes to run the ball?
Who played the clarinet?
Grant Williams plays the clarinet. Jarnell Stokes, size 20 shoes.
I hope we can get some Elijah Simmons singing clips on our games.
Oh
this
my
year.
God, we didn't talk about that substitution with Simmons.
Oh,
That was the greatest thing ever.
He was walking out there.
it was more of, it was sidling. He was swaying in the breeze.
There
towards-
must be some rule that you have to run.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, They had to
he was
burn a
jogging.
timeout. The other
Well, we
team
did
had
that
to
a
burn a
couple times
timeout
last
because
year,
he's
I think,
like,
but this was the most egregious.
Yeah.
that was amazing. Amazing.
I did
Uh,
like McCall was like looking at the ref like, yo, and the ref was like, nah, I can't do nothing about it.
yeah,
Did you see
you
Dave
say
Doran
something
on
to him.
Yeah.
Dave
Oh, man.
Dave Doran looked like someone like his dog had shit on the living room floor. It was beautiful.
And with all that gamesmanship, I would like to shout out to the laydown lineman is back and in full bloom.
And we hope he is okay.
Yeah.
When they
Yeah, pray-
showed them adjusting his
prayers
little
for
knee
him.
brace, oh my goodness! I was like, oh, wow, we're
I
really
love-
selling it this year.
They take the pads off.
Well, it's even better
Have-
when they don't go to commercial and he lays down, because then you just have to sit there for like 90 seconds while whoever, Reese Davis, isn't in on the joke, or at least acts like he's not.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah, I
usually
think
when we
it-
get the dog, Ben. Who's the dog? Kirby's dog. Ben.
Ben.
Man,
That's when we get him.
Here's the thing I would like to know though: what are they actually talking about when they're on the field, like laying down?
So, I don't know what our guys talk about, but I heard.
Aaron Foster.
Did you see that?
Yeah. Aaron
I
Foster.
don't trust a word that guy says.
Aaron
I'm
Foster
saying.
got asked about it, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, I've done that before." The coaches asked me to like, "Hey, the defense needs to rest during the kickoff, like just fall down." He's like, "Okay." So he
Said
fell
they
down.
had like a staffer call his mom, like
Yeah.
right when it happened, and said hey, he's okay. He's just faking it.
Yeah,
He's such a prima donna.
but he said the
Coach,
trainer
you think
came
we
out
can
there.
get half crunchy, half soft tacos after this game?
But he said, yeah, he said the trainer just came out there and they were just like, "What's up, man? Like, how was your week?" Oh, and just talked about normal stuff for like 2 minutes.
we could do some pretty good fan theory about it. They're discussing books.
Chris, you would be
Philosophical.
fantastic at this. Like,
I'm
You
okay.
like-
that would be the good old Rocky blog there.
Yeah, there's your video content, Chris.
I had to say the good old Rocky blog is a very good idea, and that may be I think I could do that. What do they discuss? It's
Till
amazing.
Tony comes and poaches you.
I still don't know how that has not caught on. How other coaches are not just bleeding from the eyes when it happens every game.
I mean,
The
they
announcer,
probably don't
What are you gonna
care,
do? Run
like-
out there and tell a kid he's faking it? Get up, like.
Well, there's one thing if you fake an injury, like in the flow of the offense, where it's a clear disadvantage to the other team. Like we're
Well,
not.
didn't we do that once with
Well, the
West?
other teams
Yeah,
kind
but-
yeah.
well,
the
that's
other
yeah,
teams
that
kinda
would make me
get this,
mad if I were a coach. But like,
okay.
who
I think
cares?
that's the one that makes me mad. But the field goal one, like, yeah.
Well, you think about it, if the lay down lineman's always after an extra point, so the other team's resting too, and the coaches are talking to their team
Yeah.
too. It's a timeout. It's an unofficial timeout for both teams.
I think if anything were to happen, it would be that team sending in the tape. Hey, look, it's happened 12 times this season. Send it to league office, then come talk to us. But I don't
It
know
is-
what you can do.
strange how the fake injuries have like drastically reduced, and they never said a word about why.
Wish it would have happened in 2021 with Ole Miss.
Yeah, it really went down since the Ole Miss game.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I don't know if
the
the-
league threatened to like privately fine schools, or I wonder just what happened.
I wonder if it happened to Florida State and their fans threatened to sue. Get litigious with it. I don't know.
Did y'all see that some Florida State fans are like demanding their like money back from their like beat writers that charge like $10.99 for like exclusive content, saying like you wrote all summer you said we were a top 5 team and we're gonna be good. Like I want my money back from like writers on 3 and all that kind of stuff.
What kind of
Fan-
person pays for that stuff, though? Like, just go on a message board. Somebody's going to put it on there.
I'm imagining
Sorry,
that
Caleb.
happening to Brent Hubbs.
Yes. The fans are well, like, in this modern era, they seem like they're well beyond the days of putting the something as simple as rolling a U-Haul on Johnny Major's driveway, and it's getting even more personal. Like, Auburn's quarterback Peyton Thorne was getting Venmo requests for long bets.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned Auburn. I was wanting to laugh at them a little bit earlier.
Hey, they played LSU at home, and that was a tough one. LSU picked them off. LSU ran the ball well. LSU looked great against Auburn. Surely, I mean, just a classic Auburn LSU, right? Sometimes Auburn loses, sometimes Auburn wins.
What other great games were there?
Colorado.
Oh, bunch of clowns. Did you see that video? I think Nebraska posted it of, I think it was Shiloh Sanders or whatever, one of the clowns at the coin toss telling Nebraska, we're going to roll your asses or something like that. And then Colorado, they're a joke. I mean,
there's really not much left to say about them. I feel like finally everyone sees it.
I feel kind of bad for their fans, though. The ones that have bought in are like, oh yeah, we're gonna beat everybody. Like,
I feel bad if you're like a real Colorado fan.
Yeah.
If you're one of the Colorado fans because of Deion, I don't feel bad for you. But
yeah,
those are the ones that end up in the crowd shots universally.
Yeah.
Will Deion be there next year? Y'all think? 0%.
Yeah.
Shiloh,
I'm not saying they'll fire him.
Is Shiloh going to be there or no?
I think they're both gone.
Yeah, they're both gone.
Then I would say no.
I'm telling you, my theory, I'm going to lay it out here. Good old Rocky Pod exclusive. Panthers get first overall pick. Deion going to be the head coach of the Panthers. Going to take Travis Hunter. Shador is going to refuse to play for anybody but the Panthers. There you go. Shador and Travis Hunter. Deion to the Carolina Panthers.
I bet he's
here first.
Or something, but
yeah,
we should
garbage.
Get him on the Rocky Pod.
Who?
Deion. Open invitation for Deion to come on good old Rocky Pod.
Oh, he's never going to come if you call him Deion, Caleb.
It's Coach Prime.
Thank you.
Well, he's not coach if he's on our pod, so he'd be Pod Prom. Host Prom.
Is it true that like they requested their band don't play the pep song and they play Shador's rap song?
It has to be true. Like, come on. These guys are clowns.
Yeah.
Just every sense of the word.
Oh, man. And how about Sanders calling his offensive line out post game? That's kind of.
Yeah, first pass play the next game. Hey, go on by, buddy.
Well, that pick six that he threw at the very beginning of the game had nothing to do with pass blocking. He was standing straight up with plenty of time. He just threw it straight to the cornerback.
I mean, he just sounded like such a crybaby. How many times did Raul get hit? How many times did Raul get hit? Well, shut up. Just shut up. Like, oh.
Time.
Yeah, no. It's true sympathy to the actual Colorado fans.
Yes.
The ones doing a podcast at 9:00 Central Mountain.
Home.
Yeah. That nice lady that Deion gives a kiss to before every game. Been to every game for the last 90 years or something. People like that, yeah, you've got a problem. Long-term problem.
Any other
else from week? Was that week 2 or it was week 2, right?
Yeah, we got 0, 1, and 2. Do we talk about our next week's opponent and just how they looked in their last game?
Did you actually see them with your eyes, or I didn't? I just heard to see the grapevine that they.
I watched like maybe a quarter and a half of Oklahoma and.
Oh, Oklahoma! I thought you were talking about
Yeah,
I thought you were talking
oh, we're not.
Watched it from pillar to post.
They were.
Yeah.
Oof.
Something's drastically got to change for that game to be competitive, I think. I mean, unless they're just running a vanilla version of what they want to do and really not trying that hard, like, I don't see how that game's even close.
Oh,
It
God.
is. It is my favorite all-time cope. Is the early season.
Secret Vols playbook.
Secret Vols playbook, and we are running a vanilla offense. Don't worry, guys.
But Matt,
Stretch-
didn't you want to say something about the Oklahoma podcast that went
Oh
viral?
yeah. What was the how do you say it? Schooner, the Schooner
What-
pod or whatever.
Schooner boys.
Yeah, something. So what was it they said? Oh God, the little firecracker was talking about.
Josh Heupel wanted
Yeah,
to be.
Heupel
We said no.
wants to be their coach, and we're like, no. And then his more intelligent co-hosts were like, well, we ran him out of town, which they did. And my favorite part about this whole thing is this guy's sitting there on an Oklahoma podcast, big Oklahoma fan, wearing an alternate jersey of your damn team. Like, come on. Come on. That's embarrassing. You guys wanna
Luckily,
talk
we're
about
getting our alternate jersey done with this week.
it? Wait,
we're getting-
what?
We're
I
getting
haven't seen
orange
the
and
announcement.
I like the orange.
orange and orange is fine, but I
Are we
do
doing
like.
orange helmets?
I hope not.
We're doing the uniforms exactly right. If we have to wear all the variations, we're doing it the right way. When we play Florida, when we play Alabama, we're going to be wearing the beautiful one.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we go back to Russell Athletic? Can we just say, sorry, Nike, we don't want to do all this? I'm sick of it.
The kids actually love it. So
Well,
I do think it's the best version of the home uniform that
we
I've
got
seen.
NIL. We don't need all this garbage. We don't need light shows. I can't stand that. Whenever a team scores a touchdown and the lights go out and start flickering, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Put some fireworks off. Like, we really have to turn the lights off and do a light show. Like, even high schools are doing it now. Like, it's just so stupid.
I agree after touchdowns for sure.
Yes, at
And
night.
who was like Alabama? Somebody has it at their baseball stadium now, and it just is ridiculous.
It's
Oh,
Alabama.
yeah.
Like Alabama would hit a home run in.
I mean,
And-
even in minor league games, they do it.
And
Like,
just turn the light switch on and off.
Yeah. Well, their base runners couldn't see their way to go around the base paths.
yeah,
It was.
I mean, what's next? Like, what are they gonna do next? Like, we're gonna pop off confetti after every field goal? Like, I just
Nebraska
Well, Matt-
when's
released
it gonna stop?
balloons.
I want to say back in the good old days, they had balloons.
The
That's
balloons.
fine. Bring them back.
They got the nice biodegradable balloons at Nebraska now, because in the old days they had the real ones, and they would kill cows and chickens would on them. Luckily, someone had the foresight to stop that. I'm not against making football games more of a spectacle because it's harder to get people to go to games, but I don't know that that's the best kind of spectacle. I don't know. Maybe they'll think of something more creative.
you did brought up something in my mind when you said that. Here's a little fun thing that I think I enjoyed, that like as Tennessee's kind of reemerging as, 2022 was not just a one-off season. We're becoming like, hey, we're kind of back as a program.
Yes.
Nebraska kind of might be heading back too. So like it's kind of fun to see, like, I think we have some sort of weird fan kinship with Nebraska fans and us. So it's kind of like as we're coming back, Nebraska's kind of coming back, and it's kind of nostalgic.
Oh, the,
Michigan.
I do like it.
the waves of how things work. Yes.
You know who Michigan plays this week, right?
I do not.
Arkansas State.
Oh.
Goody.
I mean, could Butch? Could he?
Well, Michigan wanted. He was on their list once.
Yeah. May have heard this,
Michigan
guys.
Jeez.
Very tough.
Did you hear
opponent.
Tony tell that story Or Butch went into like the locker rooms, like, you guys may have heard I'm a candidate, and I was like, shut up, you clown. They didn't want
He
you.
told his
Oh,
players
that's
if they
great.
were better, then he would have got the job.
I missed that detail.
Yeah, he said you may have heard if I'm a candidate for the job, and if you guys were better, I would have had the job.
It's the coach equivalent of, yeah, I've got this smoking hot girlfriend. Yeah, she goes to another school.
Another school. You wouldn't know.
Yeah, I don't see pictures ever. I'm not showing you guys no pictures.
I can't show you the pictures.
I can't, guys.
Some more fun games. We got Oregon State.
We do have the traditional rivalries in week 3 this year.
Oregon
Very
State
strange.
and Washington State.
We
Purdue,
do have
Notre Dame.
West Virginia and Pittsburgh.
man, love
I'm
that. Love
So
that.
excited for that.
You know who we didn't talk about in week 2? Kentucky, South Carolina. Oof. Oof, Wildcats fans.
So that might be a thing. Speaking about Kentucky or not, who is the worst team in the SEC?
I mean,
it's probably still Vanderbilt, but it's not as close probably as
Are you watching Texas State, Arizona State right now?
no.
No.
Okay, yeah, I'm watching it, and I'm watching it's tied, but Texas State is just playing with their hair on fire, and Mississippi State couldn't do shit against Arizona State. Nothing. Like they had a couple of breakdowns that led to a couple of late scores, and they got it within 7 or 8, and then just couldn't do anything. I think it could be Mississippi State. Like, they may have fun. They have a fun offense, but I think it could be them because Vandy's kind of looked the part so far of like a lower level Big Lots SEC team, but somewhat respectable.
what's wrong with Big Lots?
I can get some nice stuff there. Might have a nice
Fishing
time.
lure I ever had was from Big Lots. Some
right?
damn bass, man. I was reeling them in. Had 6 or 7 bass and cast it out, and this bass jumps out of the water and just rips it and breaks the line off. So every time I would go back, I would see him swimming, and he had my lure in like his side of his gill.
You had a special relation.
It was a good one. Got it from Big Lots for $1.
The last thing I ever bought at Big Lots was a Big Mac Billy Bass. Still got it. Just need the batteries.
Oh, wow.
Hanging
I
in the
miss
outside.
those.
Oh, man. Mm-mm-mm.
All right. What else?
Um,
Week 3. We got Alabama, Wisconsin.
We got to talk
Probably
about game day.
What?
You know where
Oh,
game
yeah,
day is
well,
going?
North Carolina, who they play? LSU.
LSU. Oh, terrible. Arizona, Kansas State could be a good game.
Oh, yeah. No
Oh, you want
question.
to talk about South Carolina, LSU?
No, not really.
Well, then I just think that there's a lot of potential I see in this week's slate for fun.
Yeah.
And I think that could end up being semi-fun.
Yeah.
I want to see Brian Kelly get back to 2011 purple face level Brian Kelly. Just you could see the tension starting to build, the pressure there. And now, like, they had starting running back tore his ACL. He's out for the year. One of their starting defensive, like, they're losing players. And South Carolina's defense, I mean, Kentucky may be horrendous, but South Carolina did step up and do things that they didn't do against Old Dominion. Like, I mean, they were very good against Old Dominion, but they were even better with Kentucky. And I think that has that environment, and Shane Beamer has this kind of a weird something about him. I think that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's a cheater.
He is a cheater. We're just going to say that openly now.
Proven.
Got the papers.
More
What else we
potential
got?
fun. Memphis, Florida State.
I was about to bring that up. Is Florida State going to start 0-3?
I want to see how low they can go because, man, Their fans will be so entertaining.
Yeah, they are very, very good at being angry.
And then you
I don't
got
even.
Florida. I was about to say Florida to A&M.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
2:30 ABC, man. I bet they're regretting that deal now. Can we go back to Big Ten?
That
Boy,
Big
how
Ten
weird
is-
was that? Seeing Nestler and God, what was his name? Danielson, Gary Danielson, call
calling-
Iowa State. That was weird.
That was a great game, but what do you have against Farmageddon?
I mean, just like you go from all these years, like, oh, we're going to these SEC, cities and towns, and now, oh, we're going up here. Like, I thought that'd kind of be nice for them, have a little change of scenery, but I don't know, it just doesn't seem right.
I am somewhat of an Iowa fan, and Kennett Stadium
Great
in
people.
Iowa City is nice people, way curious cornhole boards, but that's neither here nor there. And that's a good football fan base and a really good football environment, at least to my eyes. We like it did not look weird to me, and it was a phenomenal game. Iowa doesn't typically lose a game that they get up 13-0. So Iowa State has got something. I don't know.
So we also got
Yes, yeah.
Washington State, Washington, West Virginia, Pittsburgh. It's going to be a great weekend.
I mean, and look at tomorrow. Yeah, Arizona, Kansas State, as you said, tomorrow night, I think could be, fireworky.
Oh, that is tomorrow. I love these Friday. That's my favorite change this year is the Friday night games.
Though it is interrupting your high school watching schedule.
There ain't much to watch this year, brother. Oh God, that game-winning field goal attempt. Caleb, you watched that, didn't you?
Yes.
I think it was shorter than an extra point, and he still missed it. 15 yards left of the upright. Like, oh man. Like, I have this habit of whenever they score, I'll kind of like walk away from watching it, and I'll come back and I'll be like, oh, we didn't get any points there. Like, I wonder what happened. And I think the second week or the first week, it's like, well, conversion failed. And conversion failed again. Went for 2, it failed. It's like, oh God, okay. But yeah, that was incredible. Incredible. John Kaufman, if you're listening, let us call some high school games, please.
That'd be fun. We are big fans, John.
Yeah. All right, what else we got for this week? Anything?
Do you care at all about NC State salvaging something and making a run? Like, they really need to beat Louisiana Tech convincingly.
I want them to win every game.
I think they're a 3-touchdown favorite. The ACC is just so bad. It is so bad.
I mean,
People might say the same about the SEC, man. I mean, we've lost tons of non-conference games.
Oh.
they're saying it's top heavy.
Yeah, but it has been
Bottom
everywhere.
heavy too. Vanderbilt. Come on now.
Wow.
Is Vandy better than Kentucky and Mississippi State?
See, here's the thing. That's why I'm so excited for this week. We don't know anything right now, except there are a handful of teams that we know are pretty good.
And I don't think we're going to know anything after this week either.
Thank you,
Vandy
Matt.
We
play
may know if teams.
Georgia State.
We may know if Florida State sucks really, really bad or just bad.
Fingers crossed for one outcome.
What about you see that video of Florida State where they're in practice and they have the water guns?
What?
Yeah. I didn't understand what was going on there.
They were spraying. They had water guns and they were spraying water on their cornerbacks, trying to distract them from like catching a ball and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's the problem is their cornerbacks.
It was something, but it was crazy.
That's what?
Just
All right,
the whole coaching
Here's
staff
a question.
fire hose.
This isn't getting into our game with Oklahoma, but since it's happening Saturday, Oklahoma Tulane is not definitely like a slam dunk game for Oklahoma.
Man, yeah.
Would
What's
you?
the ideal outcome?
That's what I was about to say.
A,
I
a
think Oklahoma looks underwhelming in a win is the best possible outcome.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking they struggle through a sloppy, muddy win.
And I think Tulane will give it to them. Tulane
I
looked.
think my ideal is Oklahoma's up like 2 or 3. Tulane's driving. Oklahoma gets like a pick six, seals it. Oh, we're celebrating. Yeah, we won. Woo. So, like, they're not like, oh, man, we really got to work on some stuff. But I think that's my ideal. But if they lose,
Right.
too, I
And
won't
if they-
care because I think we're still going to stomp them.
I mean, Oklahoma's offensive line looks
Their
bad.
whole offense, like, oof.
Yeah, you don't expect an Oklahoma beat reporter to come on an East Tennessee show and say,
Oh my god.
they were talking about them like they were the 2010 Vols.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Did you hear
Oh,
Tony talking about how boosters are going to start pointing the finger at Bob Stoops? I mean, this is your fault. This is your fault we're having to do this. We're going through this.
You hired this guy in 1997, and his ass has been around us ever since.
Who? Didn't
Did
they
Bob
have
Stoops
another?
hire vegetables or
I think he used to
Yeah,
work there. He used to work for
wasn't
him,
he?
right?
Long-time defensive coordinator at Oklahoma.
oh,
He's one of them.
So-
Oklahoma had this.
After Stoops left, it was Lincoln Riley, right? And then was there another coach in between Riley and?
No,
There was not.
So this is
Venable.
Venable's third year?
second.
second.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Riley's been at USC for 3 now, right?
But no, he took Caleb Williams with him, right? Remember?
Yeah, but he won the Heisman with.
This is the start in their second. I think this is both their second year.
I don't know. Maybe it's
No, this is Riley's 3rd year.
Yeah, you're saying Caleb Williams won the Heisman at USC, and then he
2
had
years
one more
ago.
year.
So he won the Heisman at USC. Oh man.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
right. Didn't Oklahoma went 6-6 his first year, and the last year they were a little better.
Ah, man, I don't know.
I don't know why I was thinking about this the other day.
I suppose
We love details here on the Rocky Pod.
We definitely
Good old
prepare.
details pod. So his last season at Oklahoma was 2021. So yeah, no, there was a coach in between. There had to have been.
Maybe
No, It's
interim.
his third year, right?
I thought it was his second.
Oh my God, guys!
Yeah, his first year. Yeah, it's his 3rd year.
Lincoln Riley went to USC as soon as he heard Oklahoma was coming to the SEC.
Yeah, okay, you're right. You're right. Can't
Although
believe he's been
didn't
there.
Bob? Yeah, Bob came back and coached one game.
Oh yeah, wasn't the bowl game or whatever.
Yeah,
Oh man, I forgot about that.
that's always one of my favorite things when
Man.
when Barry Alvarez.
Oh, he did that like 3 times, didn't he?
Well, the guys just really wanted it. It's okay.
You know, Fulmer wanted to do that so bad.
Oh my!
I'm sad he
God,
never
he
got the
did.
chance. God, I would have.
I wanted Jim Chaney to do it again.
Yeah.
Got to go out on top, man.
Our former head coach Kevin Steele.
Oh Lord.
So I've
Kevin-
never heard this before the other day, but apparently the reason we got Rodney Garner is because of Kevin Steele. He was interim for 2 weeks,
Yep.
and Heupel just kept him.
Where's
Thank you,
Steele
everything.
at now?
I mean, that is a. There's been a lot of nice little things in this tenure with Josh, and that is probably the cream of the crop. Rodney is.
Oh, he was DC at Alabama last year, but he's not working this year.
And thank God Hendon Hooker transferred here for Pruitt.
And just decided to stay.
That is the thing. People just like to stay in Knoxville once they get here.
They sure. Like, I think Jim Chaney still has his house, but I think he's once again caught the bug, and he's like a running backs assistant at Georgia Tech or something.
He's a nice guy. Rang him out at Earth Fair once.
Really?
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
like right
What'd you talk-
after. It's like right after they all came here, and he got hired for Kiffin, and like I saw him walk in. I was like, "Oh my god, that's Jim Chaney!" Like, then he bought some like peanuts or something.
I was
Just
surprised
scoping the
Jim
place
Chaney
out.
shops at Earth Fair.
I never saw him after that. So, but yeah, I was like, "Hey man,
You did not
Jim
know.
Chaney, aren't you?" He's
Did
like,
not know it was a
"Yeah."
girl. He actually thought it was a fair.
Oh, speaking of fair, what's your girl's
boy.
favorite fair foods?
I mean,
You have to do a funnel cake, right?
well, I mean,
Yeah.
funnel cakes are great, but honestly, corn dogs are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
I had a
Double-
corn dog, a funnel cake, and deep fried Oreos. Corn dog,
Mm.
all right. The funnel cake, I was a little disappointed in. I don't know. Just wasn't.
It's hard.
It felt like eating just like powdered air or something. Like it didn't have much cake to it, I guess. But deep fried Oreos, not what I expected.
What did you expect?
I don't know. I didn't expect the Oreo to be just complete mush inside.
Thank you.
it's why it's delicious.
I mean, the
Hot.
taste is still there, but it's just like, oh, okay, I'm biting this crunchy outside, and it's just, ugh.
What do you think happens when you submerge something in boiling grease?
Chicken doesn't do that, does it?
Thank you.
Checkmate.
Win.
Atheist.
It's a win, Matt.
I really wanted a deep fried honey bun. We said, oh, we're out. I said, okay, never mind.
Did you go late or something?
No,
Hmm.
that was probably
Well-
about 8 o'clock when that.
Must be in high demand.
I have to say, was there a lot of people there?
We got there kind of early, trying to beat the crowd, trying to get the little man in before it got too late. So, still failed at that, but and rode one of the rides. It's like tall, like little swing. It just swings you around, and to unload the other side, you have to like just be suspended up in the air. And I was like, man, I'm really doing this at a county fair. Like, I was like, I don't know. So that was a long 45 seconds, but I made it out alive, thankfully.
Yeah, that adds years to your life. Take some risks.
Yeah. Hey, Ludacris is there tonight, or was there?
Ooh.
We all should have went remote. All right, it's time to wrap it up. I can always tell by Kyle's body language.
Yeah.
You want to do picks to click?
No. Or we can.
No. Yeah, let's just do scores. Or no, let's not do scores. Let's just do picks to click.
Do them both quickly.
Caleb,
All right. Score 70-0.
Kent
Pick
State
to-
or
Can't state, Matt.
They need to specify,
yeah,
please.
tell that to the National Guard.
I'm gonna say
Okay.
pick to click. Deshaun Bishop.
Do it quickly. He's damn strong. All right, Kyle.
55-9.
Our season's over if that happens.
55-9, because I think that we're not going to spend a whole lot of time in the second half with our starters. Yeah, pick and click, Gaston Moore.
That's pretty solid.
Okay.
I think that's. Yeah, I'm having trouble disagreeing with. I go something like
56.
Yeah, like- 56 to 3.
We're gonna
I don't-
have
I don't think
56 in the first quarter, boys. Come on.
I might have. I think we'll probably have like in the upper 30s or 40s before half, and then like we give up one little stupid something, they kick a field goal, and then it's just back up. So basically a repeat of the Chattanooga game. We probably don't put as much effort into it.
And who's your pick to click?
Still gonna go with old Chaz Nimrod. I want to see him get 3 receptions for more than 50 yards.
Oh yeah, we should guess their stat line.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say 77-0.
Jesus.
Damn, Matt.
This team, no offense, but they suck. They suck. And then we got to talk about Kent State too. Like they're not any good, but
Kyle, what is it the people in Ohio call them, Kyle?
What?
Okay, Kyle, you told me I'll spare it. They call them Kent State in Ohio.
I don't think that was not
That was
me.
me, Chris.
You
I don't remember this conversation at all.
what's their mascot? The Golden Aces, Golden Showers, something.
Golden Flashes.
Golden Flashes. Okay.
Remember, Evansville Purple Aces, Kent State Golden Flashes.
Oh yeah.
There's no mnemonic. I'm sorry.
And my pick to click is going to be
Card Matt. A lot rests on this.
I'm gonna say Brew McCoy. I think he's gonna have 100 yards, a couple touchdowns first half. All right, there we go.
All right.
I like that.
Anything else?
I would like to know, just for fun, go around the room. What is your extremely bold prediction for the season?
All right, you go first.
Thank you.
No jinxes are allowed here. So
That has to be bold, not realistic.
Don't you put that on me, Bobby Boucher.
Tua
Tua just died?
Yeah, everybody's kneeling on the ground for Tua's injury.
I know, and he's my quarterback.
Man.
Thank you.
What the hell? Oh, this is on Peacock, ain't it? Never
Really?
mind. Rest in peace, Tua.
Amazon Prime.
Oh, I do have that. Hang on.
Uh,
Finally use it since they can't send me a package in a week.
Vols make the semifinals.
Okay. Vols win the national championship. I'm a believer. Ia Maliava. And I saw her face. Ia Maliava.
How am I supposed to go more bold than we win the whole damn thing?
We won the Super Bowl.
We undefeated, unscored upon from here on out.
Oh.
Ever since we become the greatest football team of all time. People make.
For me, I don't even know if this is a season one, but I think this might be a program moving forward. Is like I think we're going to see the birth of Tennessee becoming tight end U, and I think we're going to be like,
sign me up.
Yeah, I think we're just going to be like 5 or 6 years from now. It's like all the top tight ends in the NFL went to Tennessee or wanted to go to Tennessee.
I mean, didn't you say we've got some really good recruits looking at us? I mean, we flipped that guy from Oregon earlier this summer.
Yeah, apparently the number one guy in like the 2026 or 2027 class is like all over us now after NC State.
And we got that Carson Sneed guy, I think. I think we have 2 tight end commits. I think one's next year, one's 2 years, but that's a good one.
Oh, the recruiting has definitely stepped up.
Just can't miss on our offensive line, guys.
Can't wait until a few years down the road when we're out of the probation period and we have full scholarship lists, full scholarship availability.
Well, they're changing the rules on that anyway, where you're going to get 10 scholarships, so it doesn't even really matter.
Well, it's going to be like Bear Bryant again, just recruiting the whole damn state.
Yeah, but you can't have walk-ons. It's going to be apparently the new rule.
Oh.
Only preferred walk-ons.
What's the difference?
One says
preferred.
One says we prefer you, and the others, they say we don't prefer you.
I guess.
Okay.
And for the people listening to us on replay, Tua is limping off the field.
Not a brain injury this time.
What league do I have him in?
Well, it's the limp is like a concussion stagger.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
not a. Oh,
Okay, it's
Well,
not
I
a
guess
good
that-
week.
It was a head neck thing.
I'm gonna avoid talking about my fantasy football team because no one cares.
Hey,
Are
I'm
you
going to
kidding?
talk about it. Screw you, Tennessee Titans. Playing the Bears like that. I lost both of my games because they give up 26 points to the Bears defense. Like, come on, you morons. Go back to Houston.
I guess I'll make a public. Chelsea murdered me this week, and I owe her all props. She was phenomenal.
Hey, league administrator, get used to it.
Yeah,
All right,
Yeah.
Kyle, you want to talk about your fantasy football team?
I mean, I don't know what happened. I was just like, the way I drafted them is the way I started the lineup. I just wanted to see what the boys would do, and they didn't do well. So we made some adjustments going into week 2, and we're gonna roll the ball out there this week and see what happens.
I love that, Coach. Well done.
All right,
I
if
had
anybody
the-
made it this far in the podcast, I will give you $5.
I had the 4th highest scoring.
No
like,
commitments.
I've
At the
said
fourth-
that a couple times, and no one's ever. No
Fourth most amount of points this week, and I lost by 40. Like, that
Alright,
was
man.
my week. All right.
Let's
All right.
turn on Texas State and Arizona State. We're gonna have a quarter of fun. It'll lull you to sleep.
Yeah, everybody listening tomorrow, turn on Texas State game.
Remember, set your DVRs. Hit that on-demand button on your
Get a
Xfinity
TiVo.
remote.
It's late, and we are careening into the mountain.
Yeah,
Ah,